So, y'all, I'm going to be coming in here ever so often, and I'm going to be dispelling delusions that we as people have a tendency to have, and nobody's checking us on it. If you are like me, then you have noticed and recognized that people out here have all types of excuses for being deficient in whatever area that they're deficient in that requires them to do any work. They come up with a excuse for it. One of these excuses that is used a lot is that, well, God made me this way. Did he? Now, if you study the human mind and any type of developmental psychology, you understand that it's your environment that makes you who you are. It helps you develop some of the personality traits you're going to have. It is able to even shape intelligence. It is able to shape how you deal and cope with negative emotions such as anger, anxiety, depression. These things. These are environmental things. How you cope with shit. Now, you got grown-ass people who have fucked up habits, attitudes, bodies, deficiencies, and they'll claim that God made them this way. This will be the running claim. Now, there are a number of different other excuses that are also used by grown people to, explain their deficiencies. You got, people use zodiac, people use childhood trauma, people use, their negative experiences with the human being. People use all types of shit to explain their deficiencies and what makes them have different difficulties connecting to other people or maintaining healthy relationships. All types of excuses. Now, I was never one, even when I was in the Christian mindset, even when I was indoctrinated this way, I never was the one who did the God made me this way argument. Because that never made any real sense to me. Because you wouldn't have, if your deficiencies that you develop, those ain't coming. You weren't born with those. You are born a clean blank slate. That's how you're born. Even your belief in God isn't how you're born. Your belief in this ideology of a God and a God making you. That was even programmed into you. So when we kind of belittle the power of social engineering as it pertains to our personalities, what we like, what we dislike, our dreams, our hopes, we kind of minimize social engineering. We minimize it completely all the time. And one of the ways to do so is saying God made you this way. If you're a black person, you are coming into a world that was, it was predetermined that you were in a bad spot. Ever since you were, this earth fell into the colonization of the white man and his mama. That in itself is an environmental factor. There's a reason your parents will teach you that you need to beware of cops. They will teach you to be cowards in an effort to be successful in a society because you're a black. That's an environmental circumstance. If you lived in a world where there was no, white supremacist cops, 3Ks, don't get this shit fucked up, running around shooting and killing and brutalizing black people, setting black people up to be falsely in prison, you wouldn't be taught to fear the cops and act differently towards the cops than everybody else. This is what you have to be socially engineered to do because you're black. And they don't treat you the same. So be cowards instead. Beware instead. You see. Environmental. A lot of the things that make up who we are environmental. I would imagine I wouldn't be on this black power shit if it wasn't for my environment making it necessary. To me, if you're black, you don't have a choice but to be this way. I can't say God made me this way. No. The environment that I've been put in this realm pushes me in this direction. There are people who, for example, to allude to some of the points I've been making in some of my other videos here lately, they'll be, 300 full-blown pounds and will contend that God made them that way. So God made you fat and lazy. What type of nigga is that? You see, that's the question I would have, People with terrible attitudes claiming that God made them that way. No, if that attitude was shunned your entire fucking life, you wouldn't even be conducting yourself this way. That attitude has been positively reinforced. People still put up with you, even though you conduct yourself this way. If you were shunned for such, your attitude wouldn't be like that. If it wasn't highlighted and everybody, cheering it on, and every friend you ever tried to get that was like, nah, bitch, Even down to gangs and gang members. That's environmental. You wasn't born to be no Crip, Blood, rolling this, that, and the other, MX, this, that. That's not. These are environmental things. God didn't make you that way. Even if you, again, we're talking about we're dealing in these concepts. Because of course I don't think God did any goddamn thing. I don't believe in that, but we're dealing in these concepts where you're going to stay deficient based on the fact that you felt you were made perfectly. That's a part of the delusion with believing in God, is that you were made perfectly. Even though there are children that are born handicapped and with terminal disease. Don't think God's sitting around making a perfect group of people, even if you're going to believe in this shit. If you made in his image, where the fuck are these kids coming from born with cancer? Born paraplegic. You see. It's different birth defects. Again, that's if you made in his image. But this is the type of excuse that people will use to stay the way they are. People that are religious peoples anyway. The reason that people will try to pray away certain things that ain't going nowhere, because it's going to come down to you deciding to change. This is a logical argument. It's not faith-based, hope-based. This happens when you change your mind about who you decide to be. You work to be something different. You don't pray to lose 50 pounds. You change your life to correct that. That's the point. You have to do this work. You don't pray away a fucked up attitude. You just stop having it. When people bring God into their deficiencies, it just gives them an excuse to continue to be deficient. This is a goddamn delusion. This is what makes people believe that somebody's supposed to accept them as they are. You got some shit you need to work on. Most of us do. You got some shit you need to work on, and God ain't gonna help you get through it. You praying for God to send you somebody to accept you as you are, and you wondering why it ain't happening. Well, that's because as you are is trash. And since you're not praying to anybody, since you're only talking to yourself, these are changes that you got to make. Not continue to make excuses. And use your religion, which is delusional in itself, but to have a sub-delusion within that say, well, God just made me like this. I ain't got no choice but to be this way. You got a choice. You could change. Our environment shapes us. And common sense and self-reflection is supposed to be what steers you to shape your behavior pattern to get the results or whatever the results it is that you want. You can't stay the same and claim God made you that way. That ain't getting you nowhere. And the reason it's not is because you done bought into a delusion. Something you feeding yourself. Something the Christian church probably fed you. You got this programming from this religion. Ain't none of us perfect. I don't claim to be by far. I don't claim to be perfect at all. But I'm not tying my the way that I am on God. I don't think I was made this way essentially through a God. Life steered who I am, how I am. And I still got work to do on myself. Trying to be a better version of myself all the time. But I'm not going to stay the same and claim that God made me this way, so this is how I have to be all my life. You got the same fucked up habits you had since you was 15 years old. You 30. Come on, this is just who I am. No, it's not. Who you are. That's who you've chosen to be. You see. You made a choice. It ties into, how people be making them New Year's resolutions and shit. They'll be doing that again here soon. What you waiting on? Because if you either A, waiting on God, that's not going to happen. Or B, claiming God made you this way, so you just going to stay that way. That's a mentality that you chose to believe in to stay the same. Y'all do the same shit with these goddamn zodiacs. And I'm going to come back and we're going to deal with this zodiac delusional shit. Y'all know I love dealing with zodiac delusion. But this one's for these church folk out here. These religious peoples. Who remain deficient. And claim that God made them this way. It ain't nothing they can do. That's all the fuck I want to say on this one. Y'all comment if you feel need to comment, like, share, subscribe. Links in the description box. Follow me on my new Instagram page. That link's in the description box. I'm going to come in here and tackle a lot of these delusions that we have. And I know it's not going to make me popular, but, motherfuckers don't like me anyway, so it ain't like that's, People ain't fucking with me like that anyway, so it's going to be alright that people don't like what I have to say, but For those of you who are believing that God made you a certain way in an effort to stay the same, even if it's deficient, even if you know it needs some work, you choosing to believe that, well, God loved me, so, you know. You can change that shit whenever you get ready. Whenever the fuck you get ready, you can start working to change. And stop lying. God ain't made you fucked up like you are. That's all you. Or that's all the environment that you've either been raised in or that you've selected to be in. Because there is selective environments as well. These would be relationships that people choose to stay in that are damaging to their psyche. You chose. It was a choice you made. So don't blame it on this guy. This make-believe nigga that's just gonna carry your deficiencies for you. No, that's all you. That's all the fuck I wanted to say, y'all. Shout out Team Rob. Y'all already know what it is. I'm out.